the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for Saratoga Springs on, what is the date? February 26, 2026. Thanks for joining us this evening. And we'd like to start on the agenda. We have the Pledge of Allegiance, and Commissioner Roman will do that, and today is his birthday, and so he'll do a great job.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That was good. Happy birthday. All right, next on the agenda is roll call. All commissioners are here tonight except Commissioner Burns, who is excused. And now it's time for public input. I'll go ahead and read this little description. So, time has been set aside for the public to express ideas, concerns, and comments for subject matter not listed in the public hearing on the agenda. Time for public input is limited to no more than 15 minutes total. Please limit individual comments to 3 minutes. Time may not be given to another commenter. Please be respectful in your comments. Please avoid repetitive comments. If you are here for a public hearing, please hold your comments until that item. So is anyone here for public input? Please come on up. Thank you. I'm glad I didn't read that for nothing. So if you would state your name and your address, please. Oh, great. And how do we turn on her mic?
Okay.
Great. It works.
It works.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. My name is Emily Pullum, and I live at 1194 West Mahogany Street, directly south of the new high school that's being built. And so I came last Planning Commission meeting, and I spoke about separating the bike lanes painted on the streets from the vehicular traffic, and enjoyed the discussion that ensued in that meeting. And the outcome of that discussion was that our hands were largely tied. It's not fair to ask Alpine School District to build a road cross-section above and beyond what the city code currently requires, and I accept that. But tonight, there's a lot of discussion about the city's plans for trails, which I have read through the master plan, and I would like to applaud Joel, especially for his hard work on that, and everyone in the planning department for all your kindness, as I have reached out many, many times. And I just want to applaud the work that has gone into it. On map 9 shows a paved separated trail running southwest through Brixton Park, which is the neighborhood that I reside in. But this separated trail, separated from the roads, it doesn't connect along Ensign Drive by the high school. It kind of brushes across it, and that's a gap, in my opinion, that could solve multiple problems that, as I had presented last time, we see a problem. Teenage drivers, kids needing a way to get to school safely. And so I feel like there is a solution of using some of the land that is outside of the 60 acres of Alpine School District's what they have purchased to use that land that's available south of that road cross section to build out a trail that's separated from the street. And that could also additionally help connect more neighborhoods to the high school down the road. So Saratoga Hills neighborhood and Beacon Point, they're going to have many attendees at this high school coming up, and these trails would not just be recreational, these would be actual lifelines to families to getting their kids to school and provide a real a blessing for these families. My kids will probably be able to walk when they go. So I can envision this being a really long-term great solution. And I just would love for my children and their peers and everyone in the neighborhoods that are very, very close to this high school to be able to utilize these public utilities for good and to ensure their safety. And I hope that the Planning Commission will recommend this area in particular be studied and considered as an important area to lead out in trail connectivity. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your comment. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Any other comments from the public? All right, thank you. We'll close this portion and move for the, to the public hearings. I have a little statement that I'll read. Well, no, let's turn the time first over to Joel Temple, who's the planner. Please.
There we go. Okay. Okay. So as I was saying, this was last updated in, I believe it was May of 2020. We worked with a consultant group. And a lot has been built in the city since then. And we'll go through some of these figures and you'll see that we've actually built a great number of these trails, which is really exciting. And we're just wanting to update it to accommodate for the new growth in the city and take into consideration ideas that we've heard from citizens. And again, yeah, just sort of our motivations for this, very similar to what I presented at the last Planning Commission on bicycle parking. So I won't go into all the detail again since you all have already heard this, but we've heard requests from the Planning Commission, from Council for a multimodal trail network. We've heard citizens talking about it. We know it's a need in the city. And so we wanted to just make sure that we're finding ways to connect this into hopefully future transit system and finding ways to get people out of their cars and able to access the amenities in their neighborhoods. The City Hall event that I mentioned at our last meeting was really eye-opening because it was actually citizen-initiated. They reached out to us and said, I'd like to take a group of planners from Lehigh, American Fork, and Saratoga Springs and bike from the Frontrunner station to City Hall. And we ultimately didn't do it because of safety reasons. There are no trail connections between our city and the Frontrunner station, and which is a huge gap in the community. And so we wanted to collaborate with the cities on either side of us and figure out, okay, how do we finish these this network and make sure people can get around safely and can access the amenities that are in the area. And again, as we mentioned, we have a very young city. More than almost half of our population is under 18. They're not driving, and I'm sure parents are sick of driving them everywhere. So just giving kids a chance to be kids and to get around. These benefits I went into detail a little bit last time, and with City Council, of course, share that detail, but I think you all have already heard that, and happy to come back to any of them if you all would like. But here's the changes that we made. So the numbers on the right are the old version of the plan. So we had 37.1 miles of paved trails completed. We've now finished 79.4. So we've built more of the Utah Lakeshore Trail. That's where you're seeing the regional. We've built more separated trails, and we've built a great deal of street adjacent trails. We've also done an additional 9 miles of bike lanes, which is really fantastic. And this map on the right is also showing that updated network. We've built 7 new trailheads, and we went and gathered photos and did an amenity inventory of all those to figure out what was being provided, whether it's picnic tables, dog waste stations, maps, that kind of thing, and updated the language in here to make sure that's represented accurately. We met with council last week to get input on 2 grade-separated crossings. One down here by Inlet Park, that's part of the Pony Express widening project, and then another one up by Market Street that would tie into Lehigh's existing bike network. So that was one of those really exciting opportunities where we're finding ways to connect to the regional existing infrastructure. And then this is our new proposed list. So you can see we have, so some of these numbers look kind of similar, and that's just because as we built them, we've removed them from the proposed list. But ultimately, the number of proposed paved trails actually remained exactly the same by some miracle of math. But we've built about 60 additional miles, and we added about 60 additional miles of proposed network. Part of that is helping to finish the Lakeshore Trail, which we've received MAG funding to help finish those last patches, some additional bike lanes, and then also accounting for some of the new proposed lanes and trails that will go into the Three Canyons area. And then an additional 40 miles of bike lanes was proposed. And then we built several trailheads, but then have added several more as well. So we've added the North Marina trailhead. These Three Canyons and Bonneville Park are both in the Three Canyons area, 2 trailheads in the Wander area. And then this is our new trailheads map showing the distribution of those. So we're filling in a lot of gaps in the south end of the city with this new proposed network. And you can see there's still a couple of pockets that could have better trailhead access, but some of them have access to regional parks, and so those trailheads don't feel as urgent. We also added this section on active transportation. The city had a plan on a bicycle and pedestrian network that I believe was from 2011. Several decades old at this point, but it had a lot of really good language around active transportation. And so we wanted to just make sure some of that, those concepts and that language was making its way into this plan, since this plan has kind of grown to replace it. So we added this language on active transportation and showing the difference between a buffered and a separated facility. You can see here you have the delineator post on the protected facility that gives that physical separation between users. And there's a lot of research and evidence to show that increases usage when people feel safe, when it feels fully separated, not just with paint, that you get more people using it, and you get all this positive feedback loop of more people use it, and so you get more investment, and it just kind of can spiral and build from there. And sort of to Emily's comment, we've actually been working on updated cross sections that would allow for that type of design. We ultimately didn't feel it was appropriate to bring it this time while we're just updating these maps, but it is something that staff has been working on. So we are trying to find solutions and looking at the maintenance costs, looking at the cost to pave, installation, all that kind of thing. So there's a lot that goes into it, but it is something that staff is working on, and at a future update, I think in the fall, we'll probably see that come. And then added this bullet point to the recommendations list that's just sort of a summary of that active transportation page. And yeah, those are all the updates that we've made to the Trails Master Plan. Happy to answer any questions or to go back to anything.
This is fantastic. Thank you. So we're going to open this up to any questions for clarifying this. So from the commissioners, any questions? Commissioner Miles, please.
Thank you. This is awesome, in my opinion. One of the questions I have, though, is the upkeep on these trails. My kids and wife and I love to get out on our bikes, particularly here on Saratoga Road, but it's so bumpy with the root overgrowth that our kids are just saying, we'd rather just go on the street. So I'm just curious how that works. I mean, it's great. We've got all these new trails. It's connected, but what goes into the upkeep? What's the plan? Is this, an ongoing battle you're having? Kind of walk us through that a little.
Yeah, I know in terms of actual trail resurfacing, I can't speak to that as much. I think is it our Parks Department that handles that? I know in terms of clearing snow, that is something that was talked about. So at least keeping them clear for usage. I know bike trails tend to get resurfaced a little more infrequently because there's not as much wear and tear compared to a car. But I think, what you get the root system, which is actually illustrated in this picture quite perfectly. It gets pretty bumpy. I don't know what the city's timeline is for that replacement and maintenance, but that's certainly something that we can speak with Parks about. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? Oh, please, Commissioner Hill.
Joel, thank you. I know, as you'd indicated, we had professionals really update with a lot of city input, but I really like the thoroughness of a report that can go on the website, and then our families can look at that, and those moving here can look at it. There's a real sense from my perspective that this city really wants to make it family friendly. A couple of thoughts that I had. I was glad to see that equestrian trails were going to keep, even though they're going to be down low in the southern part of the city. That seems very appropriate because as we're growing, that's the place for that to be. I read with interest a little bit that we have quite a little gapping between some of the existing trails and the new trails. And I think it was called the linking of those things. Do we have a cost of the long-range cost of linking our major trails together?
Like in bridging those last gaps in the regional network?
Yeah,
Or
if I remember, there was an area that talked about linking the gaps within our trails and our walkways. And I didn't see cost, but I'm glad it's there because we're recognizing that there are some gaps in what we're trying to do. But I just was thinking, have we gotten far enough in this process to know what a cost might be to link our major trails together? I know, we're going to be on the Jordan River and we come down to Pioneer Crossing, that you're determining, how we're going to get under, because I think we're going to go under Pioneer Crossing and some of those types of things. But just a question, and I wasn't expecting to have an answer, but I throw that out as something that we can be cognizant of, that it's going to take money, it's going to take support from the citizens of our city to say, yes, we're willing to put money in to make it a livable, family-oriented area.
I want to address that just a little bit. So no, this report doesn't include costs.
Yeah.
This will happen over many years, so costs will change and as each project comes online. But this will help us prioritize and will also help us apply for grants and funding
Yeah.
to cover those costs.
Yeah. And that was, I'll talk a little bit about granting because I've seen that happen in some other communities. But I wanted to go down and I read with interest about the safe routes to schools. And that falls, the city is involved in it, but as we get closer to school property, it's all theirs and we can't dictate. But I'm glad that the safe route to schools was included there. It's showing that we're mindful. I was thinking the other day as I was going by Westlake and everything that we have down on Pony Express, how the sidewalks are so far away from the road that to me is very, very safe. And I don't know, the school district was here 2 weeks ago. They listened to our concern. I think staff is on the same mindset, although we can't demand it. But boy, if we could move it 5 feet, 10 feet away like we have down there, I think parents would be much more, they'd feel much better about what we're trying to do. So I would suggest that we continue down that path with Alpine School District and let them know that we are in 100% of safe routes to schools. And this is where, Sarah was talking about, we ought to look in with the Alpine School District, any grants that might be available, because that's a big initiative, that safe routes to schools. In other areas I've been, there have been some dollars that have been available to help offset, not totally, but enough to make them look. And again, the message it sends to our parents are big. I was felt very good about what we've done with the Wander community, and as we get that trail up and going, it's going to be a great place. And Colton, that might be the place that you take, because I think that's going to be a really good trail. I really like Three Canyons, as we're going through that, because that's recreational. And that's another area that I've been through a couple of sessions with APA that talk about state grants for recreational trails and walkways. And down in southern Utah, there's a lot of work that's being done, but it's being done with state grants because it's preserving recreation, it's bringing people in for recreation, and I'm a strong advocate of that. And this was brought out in this report big time. We're utilizing an area that I think in, maybe 10 years is going to be a recreational area where right now few people go up and do some of those. So I'm really, I felt really good with that. Lastly, as I looked at all of this, it all complies with where we want to be as a city. And so I recognize staff in their ability to share that with those that have put the report together, that it does comply, it's going where we want to go. So Joel, thank you, and thanks, Co-Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Hill. Any other comments, please, Commissioner Rather?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Joel, for the report. I just want to kind of talk about what Commissioner Miles talked about as far as the construction of the trails. In my opinion, because I totally agree. I mean, I love the trail network. I also use it. I think there's probably a balance between the cost of the network and the individual trails and the quality of the surface. And I don't know if it's as much a maintenance issue as it is a initial construction issue. Like the ones, at the same time, they're like maybe the Lakeshore Trail here, it's well wooded. And so maybe there's issues along that one because there's a lot of existing routes, and same with Jordan River Parkway. But I think it's a consideration on new trails, like what the requirements are for the construction of those, as far as kind of the base of them and so forth. I think that's what we see a little bit of is maybe, kind of less expensive construction, which is, I mean, I'm kind of for getting the trails in place, of course, but at the same, like, even if maybe they are a little less expensive, but at the same time, if we're putting them in, I'd like to see them, at a quality where maybe we kind of reduce some of the roughness that he mentioned. Otherwise, it does get hard it gets hard, especially like if you're riding a road bike, it gets hard to use, and, or kids or whatever, right? So I think we just want to continue to maybe look at that as far as what the city's requirements are on that kind of cross-section of the construction on them, so.
I didn't.
I can speak
oh,
to that too,
sorry, yeah.
and so can Dan as well. Those two trails are county trails, so we do need to put in that request to the county as far as the maintenance and improvement of the one on the north end of the lake and the one along the river. The trails that are going in, that are new to the city, we do have an engineering standard and a cross-section that they do have to follow. And then Dan wants to speak to that just a bit as well.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is it kind of sounds like some of the trails we're imagining or thinking out that we spent time on are with like root damage and stuff. A lot of times those are the asphalt trails. The city, the trails we will maintain, that we will accept from developers, they're concrete. And our standard, from what I remember, 5 inches thick concrete. That's a pretty thick section with 8 inches of untreated base course. The reasoning behind that is the maintenance is low on those, and we're not going to be out there having to repave these all the time. They last a long time. They do better with the roots and stuff. I mean, if we get giant trees planted by them, we're still going to have that lifting of them, but we're going to try and keep that away from them. So, yeah, we do have private trails going in that are maintained by developers, by HOAs, that they'll pave them asphalt, and they still follow a section. It's like a 3-inch section of asphalt, and those are more maintenance over time but less expensive to build than originally. But the ones the city's building, they're pretty nice, and I know everyone doesn't agree on the surface quality. Some will say it's harder to run on concrete and better to run. There's all that, but like as far as what we're maintaining, we want the concrete ones.
All right, excellent, thank you so much. Any other comments from the commission? Please, Commissioner Mann.
I just have a question. There is a small section of the trail that runs through the SSOA over here, just past the marina. It's probably 20 feet, and it's right where the hot spring lets out. So it looks like they had tried to come up with a solution, but the whole area is completely waterlogged, so you cannot get through the trail on that section. You have to go all the way around, and it's like really muddy. So right now, it's not really connectable at all. I'm wondering if the city has a solution already in place for what we're gonna do with that section, or if we have a solution planned.
We would have to check with Public Works and get back to you.
Okay, fair enough. It's just past the marina, like when you get past that last dock, and it's connecting through over to, yep. No, this marina right here, not the South Marina. Uh-huh. Yeah, because that trail runs right through past the
question
marina.
is connecting the SSOA marina to the hot pots, right?
So it goes through the neighborhood, it connects from the private marina over to the shoreline trail.
It's on. We'll check on that. There is 2 current trail projects under construction right now. One of them's in that area. Is it
Yes,
not
yep, and then
include
that's,
that?
so that's the section that was already completed, like it's, that area's, it's been completed clear way down south now. But that was one of the first areas that was completed, and it looked like they had originally put in like, I don't even know how to describe it, like huge plates that have like drainage holes in them. But the water, it's literally almost knee high, like you cannot get
Yeah.
past it, so I just wondered.
And the 2 projects I'm talking about, they are active right now. They're constructing, and we'll follow up with Public Works on where the extents of those projects, because what you see out there right now, maybe they haven't got to that area, but I know one's down by Amanda Lane and coming north from there to, sorry, I wasn't talking. And then the other one was the more northern area. I will follow up with Public Works and see, because I'm curious about where that
That'd be
lies
so good.
in relation to our 2 active trail segments we're working on.
Yes, because that was one of the first parts where they started, and they've moved clear on now, but I'm like, are you guys gonna come back to this?
Okay, yeah, we'll follow up with you.
Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Any other comments, questions? All right, fantastic, thank you. There's one correction on our agenda, and it says the commission will discuss without public comment, and that's not correct. This is a public hearing, so we will open up to the public for comment, and we'll go ahead and do that now, and I'll read the statement. Let me see. Okay, so I'll open up the public hearing and this item is the general plan amendment to provide an update to the Trails chapter of the parks. So please be respectful of your comments. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Time may not be given to another commenter, and please avoid repetition comments. Is anyone here for this Trails Master Plan General Plan Amendment to provide an update to the Trails chapter of the parks? Okay, thank you. So then we'll close the public input time, and we'll open up to commissioners for their comments. Please. Looks like we got all our comments out. Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll go ahead. I move that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation for approval of the requested general plan amendment with the findings and conditions in the staff report.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. We have a motion from Commissioner Hill. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Miles. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay? Okay, it looks like that's passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, Joel. Let's go to the second public hearing, amendment to Title 19 Land Development Code of the City of Saratoga Springs to add regulation for city-owned office trailers. How did you get so lucky to get office trailers?
Just
All
where the apple lands, right? So thank you for that, Vice Chair and Commission members. To provide some context around this code amendment, for those who may not have been present last year, we took forward a site plan last May to the Planning Commission and the City Council for the city's cemetery site. As part of that site plan, a office trailer was proposed for that site. If you'll recall, one of the conditions of approval that was put on the city cemetery site plan was that staff bring forward a code amendment to allow for that office trailer to be placed at that location. So this code amendment is coming to you this evening as part of the follow-up on that condition, something that staff has been working on putting together to allow for these office trailers on city-owned property. So really there were two changes, amendments made to different sections within the code. The first being in 1902, which is our definition section of code, and then 1905, which is our supplementary regulations. So that first section in the definitions, we added a definition for city office trailer to make it clear what we mean when we're talking about permitting these on city property. The second changes that we made were within the supplementary regulations section of code. A minor subheader edit was made. You'll see here in 1905-17 to temporary office trailers for churches. That was the only change made to that section, just clarifying which section goes where. And so here is the meat of this code amendment, which is pertaining to city office trailers. And so we have here the various requirements that will be required with city office trailers as staff reviews these on future submittals for city-owned property. To go over them, just highlight here, city office trailers are required to be outside of any required landscaping area. They need to comply with setbacks of the applicable zoning district. They need to be in compliance with accessibility regulations as outlined in the International Building Code, be connected to an approved electrical power source, and have no more than one wall sign. So with that, pretty straightforward code amendment. If there's anything that you would like me to go into more detail about, I'm happy to do so, but otherwise, I will stand for any questions if you have them.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Please, Commissioner Hill.
David, just one question, I didn't see it. How do they handle lavatory in these trailers?
I believe the office trailer does have a lavatory inside of it, although I'm not sure on that. Sarah, Dan, do either of you know if, no? I think it does. I can follow up on that question
I
now.
just, I'm guessing they may have a tank and then they get empty from time to time, but I would think that might. Oh, they're connected to the sewer, okay. That answers the question then, so that's the only question I had, because I didn't see any verbiage in that there, so, thank you.
Thank you.
Co-Chair.
Great
Commissioner.
question. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Other questions? Okay, thank you. Being that this is a public hearing, we'll go ahead and turn some time over for public input. And again, I'll open up for public hearing for the, what is it, this is the amendment to Title 19 Land Development Code for the trailer. Do I have to read the whole thing? Okay, am I okay? All right.
As long as you just open a public comment period for the item you're
Okay, all right, thank you so much. All right, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Time may not be given to another commenter. Please avoid repetitious comments. Is anyone here for the public hearing for this? Okay, thank you very much. We'll close the public hearing time and we'll turn time over for comments from the commission. Do we have any comments from the commission? Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion? I move that the planning commission forward a recommendation for approval of the proposed code amendment to chapters 19.02 and 19.05 with the findings and conditions in the staff report.
Thank you. We have a motion from Commissioner Mann. Do we have a second?
Second.
Great. We have a second from Commissioner Roman. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, that is also passed. Thank you very much. Okay, now we're on to public hearing number 3, amendment to Title 19 Land Development Code. And looks like we've got David, is that right?
Yeah, me again. Thank you, Vice Chair and Commission members. This code amendment is really a cleanup code amendment, making some clarifications to car washes and auto repair shops in particular within our code. As we go through our reviews, when these items come in, we'll take note of inconsistencies in code or things that maybe should be clarified for these type of code amendments. So I'll go through each of the different sections here that are being updated or amended with this code. But those amendments chiefly lie within Chapter 1902, which is our definition section, Chapter 1904, which is our establishment of land use zones and map, and then 1905, which is our supplementary regulations. So here we have the proposed changes to our definitions section. In each of our definitions, there are times when we find regulations held within our definitions. This makes it hard for somebody who's reading code if they're looking at a specific section of code where all of the regulations should be listed. It's not always inherently clear that they need to go to the definitions to look for, additional regulations that may be in place. So part of this was to remove those regulations and properly put them with the other regulations listed in code. So you'll see changes here to automobile repair minor and car wash full service, where sentences were taken out and were put in later in the 1905 sections that we'll discuss. The other changes that were made to the definitions was a bit of an update to our car wash self-service definition. There were some inconsistencies in the previous definition where it stated that part or all of the cleaning is performed by the patron with the aid of coin-operated devices. When we were looking at this code amendment, we felt that part or all really didn't provide much clarity in terms of differentiating between full service and self-service. And so part of this code amendment was to clean up that self-service definition to make it clear when somebody is looking at our code at those definitions to figure out whether or not they're full service or self-service. The changes to 1904 amounted to several tiny changes here. You'll note that we've added in a number 2 to the permitted use table for these two uses, automobile repair major and minor. That's just directing somebody to the additional standards as provided in other sections of Title 19. Makes it clear that there are additional standards related to those specific uses. And then getting into where those sections are here in Chapter 1905, supplementary regulations. Some cleanup here again. Previously, this first section was titled Automobile Refueling Stations and Car Wash Operations. We wanted to separate the two so that it's clear what applies to refueling stations and what applies to car wash operations with regard to code. And so this section was a lot of cleanup, removing references to car wash and taking those and moving them out. You'll see that in a different number here as I go through the list. Number 2 is adding automobile repair major. Previously, only minor was listed in here, and so we wanted to make sure that those same regulations that were being applied, particularly here, a separation requirement was being equally applied to major automobile repair businesses and minor automobile repair businesses. So that separation regulation was taken from the definition and added to each of these. You'll see here car wash full service, pretty minor change there, just making it clear that these need to be removed from both full service and self-service, separated from each other. And then adding in that self-service section that was previously in the automobile refueling station section. So this was separated out from that. The regulations were taken from that and applied to this area and updated as needed. So that's a high-level look at each of these. If there are any questions, if you'd like me to get into more detail with the specific regulations themselves, I'm happy to do so. But otherwise, I will stand for any questions you may have.
Thank you. What questions do you have for him? Please, Commissioner Rather. Rather.
Thanks.
I knew I'd do that.
I really appreciate the effort in clarifying some of these. I know just as someone who reads these kinds of documents regularly, it's helpful to be really clear. I do want to ask, I haven't read every word of this. Is there anything regarding sound on the car washes?
I don't recall. Sarah, do you know if we have specific to automobile repair, or is it just our general noise ordinance?
There's not, but we have included distance, so we've addressed that through separation.
That makes sense. I just ask because I know
They can be
that
loud.
we have some in our city, like in Harvest Hills. When I use that one, I'm like, I feel bad for these townhome owners that are really close.
Right next to it, yeah.
So, but I can see the distance. Yeah, that makes sense to just have that separation requirement.
All right, thank you. Please, Commissioner Hill.
David, is there I thought the city had a code that had the full-service car washes, they couldn't be within 5 miles of one another, and I didn't see that. Is that something I had just heard, or is that?
So that would be, I've got it here, car wash full service. I believe what you are referring to is that 5,000 feet requirement, so.
Yeah, and it was much more than that. I went to an economic summit, and I happened to sit with the individual from Quick Quack that was responsible for all of their locations, and they want to be all over the place. And he said that we had a 5 mile, so they were wanting to put something down kind of by Ring, down by the Maverick, down by Ring Loop. And the one that was up here at Pioneer
Pioneer.
Crossing and Redwood prevented them from doing that. And I didn't have an answer, but I didn't read it in this, and it wasn't crossed out, so I'm guessing they may have had the wrong information.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not aware of anything, as stating 5 miles as a buffer, so.
Yeah, we do have a separation, but it's not 5 miles, yeah.
Okay.
So, they did want to put some very close together, though.
Yeah.
And our code didn't allow it.
Okay, thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Doug.
Any other questions? Okay, we'll turn this, it's time for a public hearing part. And just please, if you would like to make a comment, be respectful of please be respectful of your comments. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Time may not be given to another commenter, and please avoid repetitious comments. Is anyone here for the public hearing part of this? No? Okay, thank you. All right, then let's go for commissioner questions and comments. No? Okay, great. Do we have a motion?
Can do it.
Thank you. Go ahead, Commissioner Rather.
I move that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation for approval of the proposed code amendments to Chapter 1902, 1904, and 1905 with the findings and conditions in the staff report.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Mann has seconded that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Great. All were in favor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, commission members.
Thank you. We'll now move to the business items. The first one of the business items is the commission will discuss without public comment and may either make a recommendation to the city council or approve the following items as needed. And this is, the first one is North Marina Site Plan, and that will be Planner Black, Kendall Black.
He's not able to attend, so I'll go ahead and present this one.
Oh, thank you.
So, as you know, we were able, through a development agreement, to acquire property for the North Marina a few years ago. It actually came in with the North Shore Development Agreement. It was part of their open space obligation, and one of the things we asked at that time is that it not be just an HOA amenity, that it be a public amenity. So through that agreement, we were able to acquire that property, and we have done only just one phase, but it's still not ready to be open to the public. So the thing that we did in the past was some dredging and some site work, but what you're seeing before you today is our very next phase, and we did receive grant money to help with this, which is a big deal. That does help us move our parks along. What you're seeing on the plans today, let me come back to the motion. So you're seeing a parking lot, and then there'll be a restroom and a little bit of landscaping, and then a jetty, and the dock. So we'll be able to launch boats, which will be amazing for this particular part of the lake. And then you'll see in the landscape plans, we'll have a restroom and maintenance facility, and then we have a possible motion here. I want to go over the conditions just a bit. You see a handful of conditions that we didn't quite have worked out before we completed our packet, but we do have answers to some of these items on here. The partial landscaping, we will see the rest of the landscape plans with later phases. Our main focus right now is the parking lot. There is a little bit of landscaping, but you'll see the rest of that later with future phases. And then you'll also see a comment related to trees, that this particular phase does not meet the tree requirement. However, as you can see, the majority of the phase is asphalt, so we will be meeting that in the future as well. And then the off-street parking complies now, meaning we were waiting for the photometric plan, but we have received that now, so that one is just fine. And then they will add the bicycle parking, so we have received confirmation of these items from our Public Works Department. And we do recommend approval with the findings and conditions that you see in your staff report.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions from the commissioners? Please, go ahead. Commissioner Miles.
Thank you, Sarah. I just have one question. The trail that goes through North Shore and then heads east and goes up kind of in that foresty area, hugs the lake and goes up into American Fork, that all stays intact, right, with this
It
new
does.
marina?
Right.
Okay, so that's still open to public and
Yeah.
usable. Okay, thank you.
Great. Commissioner Hill?
Sarah, you mentioned it, but could you give a definition of what the photometric is?
Oh, sure.
On the lighting.
So what we typically like to see is how much light coverage you have with the individual lights that are provided. So a photometric plan will show the fixture, and then it will show the spread of coverage, like the brightness from that particular fixture and the area of coverage. And so we have standards for those plans of what that should look like.
Great. And you indicated that now that is a part of the plan.
Right. We
Okay.
received that.
Again, a lot of work that has gone into this, and so many complies. And I think you've mentioned, but I saw tree base clearance of 3 feet, and the trees, lighting, parking, dumpster, and gates are things that you're still working on. Is that correct?
Right, and we have most of that worked out, but we are still working through a little bit of that. However, we'll make sure we have that before, in the plans.
Right, in that it's planning initiated, we know it's going to be done the right way, but I just wanted to bring that to light. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Mather.
I'm curious, I'm looking at site plan 5, and I know there's that little barn up there. What is the story behind that barn? Because I look at the trail and the connection is kind of interesting right there, and the lap kind of around that building is interesting to me, and I'm just curious, just personally, if we know what that building, what it is, and why do we kind of wrap around it?
There
Yes.
used to be a scout camp, so it was formerly a Boy Scout facility.
Interesting, okay, because obviously it's being preserved as.
We don't know, we still need to study it a little bit further to see the deterioration and see if that's something that's possible and how that plays into the future plans, and then that'll be up to the city council to decide as they evaluate that, so we don't know the answer right now.
Okay, I was just curious, I mean, I like the connection to the lake trail there, that makes sense. I was just curious why we've kind of wrapped around it like that.
Boys can leave messes. I don't know. Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Okay, let's go ahead and, I think we'll go ahead and, do we have a motion?
I'll go ahead.
Thank you.
I move that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation for approval of the requested site plan for the North Marina located at 1192 East Saratoga Road with the findings and conditions in the staff report.
Great. So we have a motion from Commissioner Hill. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Commissioner Roman. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Great. All approved. Thank you very much. Now, Commissioner comments, any, oh, no, we need to approve the minutes. Anyone would like to make a motion for approval of the minutes? Please.
I move that we approve the Planning Commission minutes from February 12th, 2026. Wait, can you hear me now? I move that the Planning Commission approve the minutes of February 12th, 2026.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Commissioner Mann seconded that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Great, thank you. Do we have any commissioner comments? Other than happy birthday?
That's a good.
You bet. All right. Director's report.
It looks like you've got a few items coming to you at the next meeting, a few more code amendments and a village plan for Beacon Point Phase 8, Village 8, so you'll be seeing that at your next meeting. And then, since you've last met, there wasn't any planning items that went to to city council, so nothing new to report in that regard.
Okay, great. So anything else?
Nope.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Good job.